sana for making time. And John Wesonga, advocate of the High Court as well. Thank you very much for making time. And Omondi Ko'yoo, Secretary General, National Liberal Party. Thank you very much for making time. Before we took the break, they had already given us their views on whether dialogue or not. Ko'yoo, I'll come to you now. Is it time to talk or not?
Thank you very much, Trevor. I do not understand why you are asking us if it is time to dialogue or not, because how do you dialogue with someone who is pumping bullets into your head? How do you dialogue with someone who has had an uninterrupted grace for over 2 solid years to put the country together, but they have failed miserably? Time and again, the youth have always expressed their fears, their anger, dissatisfaction on how their resources are being managed. Instead of the government listening to them, the government responds through brutal suppression of their voices. The government responds by telling them that you are nothing. The only best dialogue that we can have with this government is that, number one, as a youth of this country, we must maintain peace. Number two, the only platform that we are going to organize for dialogue is August 2027 general election, where we are going to have real dialogue at the ballot. We are really thankful that now IEBC is in place. The only best thing that the youth can do unto themselves right now, close your ears to all these noises you are seeing outside here or you are hearing outside here. What they are now calling dialogue, they are only trying to actually bring back what we call reorganizing the government structure so that they can accommodate people whom they feel will deny them votes in 2027. For us as a youth, the only thing that we must do right now is to come out, register as voters, and have serious dialogue on the ballot. But as for now, there is no serious structured dialogue that you can have with the regime that does not listen to the voices of the people. That if you question them how they are using your resources, then they respond with brutality. If you ask them why there is an excessive police force and how the police is actually responding to the street protest, the only thing they're telling you is that we shall abduct you. We don't need dialogue to stop enforced disappearances. We don't need dialogue to stop police brutality. We don't need dialogue for the police to stop pumping bullets into our heads. The cries of our people, our mothers, our children, and the blood that has flown in the streets of this republic is too much to bear. I heard the president ask last time that enough is enough. Perhaps what he forgot to tell the nation is how much blood is enough. Perhaps the only thing that the president ought to have asked the nation is when are we going to stop unnecessary deaths we are seeing in the streets? The Constitution of Kenya, Trevor, identifies the President of the Republic of Kenya as the symbol of national unity. It is his social responsibility to ensure that life and property is protected. When a president stands before the public and makes a pronouncement that you can be shot in the leg, then we feel it is just okay. It can't be okay. Whenever you are shot in the leg, that is already murder, because when you are shot in the leg, Trevor, there is something you call hemorrhage. You may bleed to death. When you are shot in the leg, it is going to interfere with serious tissues that are even supplying blood into your brain. So when the president is giving directive that you can be shot in the leg, so for him, it is okay to kill a citizen. Whom do you want to dialogue with? You want to dialogue with a disabled person? The president must come out and first of all apologize to the nation, apologize to our brothers and sisters who are living with various forms of disabilities, and tell the country that he did not mean actually to kill our people. Because when you are saying that shoot in the leg, that leg is part of the body. When you are telling your police to shoot our people in the leg, these very people you want to shoot in the leg are the very people whom you want to collect taxes from. How then are you going to govern us if you are shooting people in the leg? How are you going to govern? Why do you want to govern people who are disabled?
Wasn't there a caveat to the shooting in the leg that only those who are...
We cannot sit here while this guy is lying.
...property or killing people, it wasn't that a caveat? Isn't that caveat?
Trevor, presidential pronouncements are not suggestions.
Let's start with the basics.
But there was a context to that discussion. It was not an open blanket.
Nothing justifies, Trevor, use of excessive police force, the police bullets. If the president, in his own wisdom, and we really respect him, if in his own wisdom he sees that it was necessary for the police to use live bullets on innocent citizens, you cannot tell how the police is going to use that bullet or how the police is going to use the gun. The president is not a police officer.
Okay.
And the only thing that you ought to have actually asked our police to do, you saw what the CS for Interior did last time.
Of the orders?
The CS ordered that if you see any person approaching the police station with an intent either to destroy property, then why do we have our laws? We have laws that if there is an aggressor, or if there is somebody who wants to actually do something that is outside the law, arrest and charge in a court of law.
Okay.
You don't shoot and kill people.
Okay.
And then you saw yesterday, Trevor, an MP in Kericho, Nelson Ko'yoo, also even telling people that our people should be killed. That is not the country we want. We only have one country. Okay. And if you can hurt our people recklessly, and then you claim that that is right, then I think, Trevor, it is high time that we need to have a deep conversation on as to how then do we want to rule or govern this country.
Okay. Mugendi, let me hear Mugendi, then I'll come to you. Let's stick to the format. I'll come back to Victor. Yes.
Thank you, Trevor, and I appreciate being here. My first debutant ball with you. Perhaps we can begin from a neutral point for those who don't want to dialogue and those who don't want to dialogue. There are three principles my friend Dr. Ojwang always reminds me when we meet. One, never be so sure of what you want, you will not take something better. Number two, don't make an assumption that people don't love their country, however evil or bad you may feel they do. Number three, don't assume people are suicidal, whether in their political career or in their home lives, that they would want to end their lives or perhaps things that bring their structure too. The idea that people can sit on a table does not necessarily mean we'll have an outcome, but it means I will understand your perspective as much as I want you to understand my perception.
Hold the microphone closer.
Yes. My apologies. So what that means is perception versus perspective. Yeah. And that's perhaps what we are struggling to identify in this entire conversation. I know what I know, but what I know will not help me have a meaningful engagement with Trevor. I have to understand Trevor's perspective. And perhaps this divide has been made more apparent in the current political discussion, where the politicians have been pushed to one corner, and we've said, oh, they are dividing us, they have done all these bad things, and we have accepted they are all bad people. Fine. But the moment we turn the spotlight to the other side, apparently, once you call the government bad and this other side good, everyone else becomes a saint. And I do not agree with that assessment, because that assessment simply puts everybody on edge or into corners. But perhaps what we should try and suggest, because once you sit on a table is when you find out reality. I would want to see my friend explain to us how to balance the budget. I would want him to come and tell us how to repair a foreign image with practical examples, not suggestions from social media. Yeah, how to solve the Iran war crisis that perhaps was about to affect us because of the oil leaving the Strait of Hormuz. You know, when you sit on the table is when you find out that the reality actually has dawned on us. Let me give you another example. There was a young lady when Honorable John Badi was giving the a breakdown of in his numerous town halls, and she rose up with the same issue I'm hearing here, perspective versus perception. Her perspective was the government is going to tax milk, the government is going to tax unga, everything is vatable. In fact, the VAT is 18%. It has risen from 16%. Then she was asked, where is it in the bill? Now that particular lady was very vocal on TikTok and managed to convince a lot of people that the government is evil with seriously wrong examples. And perhaps that's what I would want to challenge each one of us here. Even if someone is evil, let us be factual in what we present to the table. Okay. For those who lied about the finance bill 2025, at least own up and say, I apologize. I mean, isn't that what we are calling for the government to do? If we are not able to do it ourselves, then we have become hypocrites, you know? I can see a situation where, for the first time, and this is what I don't mean everybody, you know, we should stop putting ourselves in a position where we have assumed that we're in a world where everybody is good and honest. We are all capable of the same evil that we think we cannot do. So, you have a situation, for instance, with the medical industry, where the doctors are for the first time saying, at least we have seen some progress that has never happened since independence. Now, anyone who gets to celebrate that becomes an evil person. I have brothers and sisters who work there.
Yeah.
And I know how much they appreciate that for the first time, there's some clarity. Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
If we are talking about the security sector and about, say, right to protest, I agree. Please protest all you want. But for my grandfather who had to sleep under you know where you go to fix your car in the tunnel? Yeah. In Embu County, where he had to hide under there